continue, listen to this. Mr. Kobas and his family wants to travel to Paris this winter. They have two kids. One is 12 years and another one is 22 years. The family will be visiting abroad for the first time, and they are planning to spend 2 weeks. 2 weeks, and they have enough budget to fly with business class and a luxurious hotel. What do you think is the most important tool for Mr. Kobas to have a successful trip? Yes. An itinerary. What else?
Map.
Yes, a map. And then what else? What do you think? What do you think is important for Mr. Kobas to have a successful trip? Yes.
Money. Could money be something?
Yeah, it can be money. Yeah, you can't. Without money, we can't do anything. You can't even get here without money. What else?
Travel agents.
Yeah, you need a travel agent. Yeah. Okay. But anyway, what we're going to focus on today is going to be a travel itinerary. That's the theme of today. It's going to be the tour itinerary or a travel itinerary. The first thing that I'm going to do is to give you the concept and their definition. The first one, when someone says an itinerary, what comes to your mind? When someone says, Abi, can you make an itinerary for me? What comes into your mind?
A plan. A road map. A road map.
Yeah, it can be a road map, yes.
Okay, planning your schedule for every activity that you have to do.
Yeah, every activity, including sleeping. Does that include the time to sleep or where to sleep?
Yeah.
Like, let's say maybe you're planning on going to see maybe some tourist destination somewhere, or going to a restaurant or museum, then you have to put it as a schedule.
Okay. I'm glad that you all have an idea of what an itinerary is, but I'm going to give you this definition. An itinerary is a detailed plan for a journey, especially a list of places to visit, a plan to travel, and a line of travel route. Okay, so that was our first definition. And then the second definition is the logical tour planning. The logical tour planning is a planning process in which transport orders are grouped into tours and put into a certain order. And then the last definition is a scheduled tours. A scheduled tours, they take place at a specific time of the year, and tourists in the area can join these tours. This can be more like, I guess you've all heard about Durban July, right? Yeah, so Durban July, every year, there's no way that we can have Durban July somewhere in September. It's in what? It's in July, okay? And then it's in Durban, there's no way that you can wake up next year and then they say Durban July is going to take place in Cape Town. It's normally, or it's always at Durban and in July, okay? And then the next thing that we're going to discuss is going to be the factors to consider when you're planning an itinerary. The first thing that you have to consider, it needs to be a cost. How much are you going to spend? How much are you willing to spend? What is your budget? Okay. And then the second thing is going to be the geographical constraint. With the geographical constraint is going to be about, if you're traveling somewhere, you need to be aware of the climate of that place. Okay. You need to know the weather. When it's summer, how hot is it? When it's winter, how cold it is. And then we also have the tips which helps one to plan tour. So if you are to plan a tour, these are the tips that you need to use. The first one, you should keep the profile of the tourist in mind. So you must know the profile of the tourist. So if it's Mr., the example that I gave in the beginning, it's Mr. Kobas, you should know that, okay, if a family is traveling, what are they interested in, okay? So there are different things that individuals or groups that are traveling are interested in. If it's a group of people. If it's young people, you know that they would like to go and party. They want to go to nice restaurants. They would like to go to nice swimming areas, the coastal area, and all those kind of things. But then with family, they want activities that can include everyone within the family. Okay. And then the second one, we say that do not try to fit too much in one day. So meaning that if you've got activities, you can at least have, if there are more, they can be 3 per day. Because if activities are more, it means that some of the activities are not going to be interesting for tourists, because they would have spent a lot of time doing same thing, and then they have to go to do something, like it becomes so tiring. It's like you guys, if you have a lot of classes, you'll be complaining. Everyone will be so tired, right?
Yeah.
And then we also have, they also say that identify activities that the tourist will prefer. So if it's a travel agent company, or if you're working with a travel agent company, or if you're a travel agent, please, you need to make sure that when you're preparing a tour for a certain group of people, you ask them, what would you love to do, okay? And then when you have ideas, this is when you can work on the activities that you can do. They also say that keep in mind how long the activities will take, and then group attraction in the same area to reduce travel time. So meaning that if Mr. Kobas was coming here, if he was coming to South Africa, let's just say for instance he was coming to South Africa, you must group the attractions which are close together. If maybe it's today, you need to make sure that, okay, if today they're traveling to Pretoria, they're gonna go to the unit buildings, they can go to the zoo, and then the third activity that they can do, they can go to Mende for shopping, okay? So meaning that if they are close to each other, they don't have to drive for too long, okay? And then lastly, allow for resting between long and busy days. So meaning that if the day was too busy, you must make sure that you allow them to have enough time to rest, okay? And then the next slide that I'm going to discuss is going to be the different types of itinerary. We have the personal itinerary, and we also have the general itinerary. The two of you, I'm going to ask you a question when I'm done. You, the one who's wearing a hat, and because you guys have been talking, the two of you. Yeah. Yes, so I'll ask you questions when I'm done. And then we have got the personal itinerary, and we also have the general itinerary. With the personal itinerary, it's tailor-made according to the travel wishes, needs. A personal itinerary presents your entire trip, day by day, with essential information about the places, as well as historical, cultural, tourist information and tips from those who really know the region. And then general itinerary, again, is a detailed plan of a journey, especially a list of places to visit, plan of travel. And then we also have the sequence on how to write an itinerary. The first thing, do not mention only place of interest. Give a bit of background or history and the geographical information. So if someone is traveling to Robben Island, what would you say if someone wants to travel to Robben Island? Usually there's a great history about Nelson Mandela, right? Yes. So you mentioned that this is the place that they used to have a prison there. Nelson Mandela was arrested there. So you need to give a bit of a background, so that the client or your client, if it's a travel agent company, your client will be able to be interested in whatever that you are taking them. And then secondly, use short description about the destination or attraction. Like what I'm saying, you can describe that the great first black president of South Africa was prisoned in this jail. Yes? Okay, we also have the component of an itinerary. The first one, the itinerary should have a day. The second one, it should have a transport. The third one, the details of accommodation. It should also have the details of attraction that tourists will visit. And then it should also have the details about the meals. And then lastly, the time and the budget. And we also have examples of itineraries. I'm not really gonna go through that. You can just look at it. So you'll see that there are different ways to write an itinerary. And then we also have these two as well. It's the continuation of the examples of itinerary. And then we also have a class activity. So the class activity is going to be based, we're not really going to do it because you know that making an itinerary will take time, but I will want it when we come back from the practicals. So just bring my activity. So the activity, it's going to be the same scenario that I gave in the introduction, which is about Mr. Kobas and his family want to travel to Paris this winter. They have two kids, one is 12 years and another one is 22 years. The family will be visiting abroad for the first time, and they are planning to spend 2 weeks, and they have enough budget to fly with business class, flight and luxurious hotel. So with the understanding you acquired in this class, make a 2 weeks itinerary. So guys, please just work on this activity. I will take it when we come back. I guess it will be simple for you to do it when you come back, because you would have done this maybe in class, I don't know. Yeah, and then anyway, thank you for your time. If you have the questions, you are welcome to ask. Yes, sir.
I just wanted to understand the logical itinerary differences.
The definition.
What?
So with the logical itinerary, let me explain it without going into it. It will indicate, it will be the description of the tour that you are taking, and then it will indicate the time and all those kind of things. So meaning that if it's a group of people that is traveling, if you are late or if you miss something, it means that you will have missed out. So everything is in logic. Yes. Usually they do it. I think you guys have seen those sightseeing buses around here. So usually people who take that, it's people who are in logical tours that they travel with those buses. There is a time schedule for it. Everything is according to the time. What else? Who else have a question? Yes.
I don't know if you've mentioned it, but who's responsible for writing an itinerary? Is it you or the tour operator?
Nowadays, you know that with the technological advance and everything, there are applications that you can use to write an itinerary. Okay, back then it used to be travel agencies that will book tour packages and all those kind of things. But now individually, if we were to travel to Durban, we can go to the internet, we do everything there. But so anyone can do it. But then there are travel agent companies that are responsible for that. Yes. What else? More questions. You guys can come with more questions. Or should I ask you guys? How would you want to be asked? Okay, anyway, thank you so much. Yes.